was Dean.
We are going to give you all the latest in entertainment news, politics, and sports. We are on every Monday through Friday at 10:15 on The Real 1100. Let's talk.
Any camera you want me to look at? Either one?
Either one.
Good morning, good morning.
Hey!
Oh, man. Is it Monday morning, Ellis?
It feels like Friday because my body is so sore right now.
I feel like Wednesday to me, like hump day or something. I don't know, but it's Monday, right?
I tried to act like I was 20-something and went to the gym twice, did a boot camp class I hadn't been in 2 weeks. My body was like, boy, stop.
Ellis thought he was 25
I thought I was 25, like I could bounce back. Boy, I'm not J. Cole, I'm going to bounce back.
Well, guys, you know we do the entertainment report, but we have a special guest with us today.
Yep.
His name is Rayford, and we love to do the entertainment report, but we also have to give back and bring amazing guests like Rayford on to talk about what he's doing.
Yep.
So I'm going to go ahead and start with the entertainment report, and then we're going to jump over to Rayford. All right, guys, Chris Brown. Have y'all heard?
Oh, he got arrested again.
But this is the thing. He didn't do anything new. He didn't. This was from last year.
He did do something new. He didn't take care of the old. That's some new stuff.
No, this is what he did. This is what the arrest was right after his concert in Florida. And the cops were just waiting for him. You know how you on stage and they just on the side looking at you? That's what they did to him.
Right.
He walked off and they arrested him. But this is for him allegedly punching a dude last year in 2017.
I would just say that out loud again. Okay.
Allegedly.
Say that again.
Allegedly.
Allegedly punching a dude.
Okay. So we got a club scene, right? They're in the club.
Right.
Chris Brown's in the up in the DJ thing, right?
Right.
Somebody's taking pictures and taking pictures and taking pictures, and he don't like it, right? So he allegedly punched him.
So wait. So a celebrity doesn't like to have their picture being taken. I want you to say that out loud. Because if you don't say it out loud, it doesn't make sense, right?
Exactly.
You got to say the whole thing. A celebrity doesn't like his picture getting taken.
But you know what? Maybe it was a bad day. Look, I love getting my picture taken. Come on, paparazzi.
When you Chris Brown, every day should be a good day.
Well, you know he got that one song where you
Freaky
wake
Friday.
up in different bodies and all
Yeah,
that.
that's a hot track. Have you heard that song?
I like it.
It's
I
bumping.
like
Lil
it.
Dicky,
I love
he
it.
did that.
So they've been in Florida waiting on him, to come through. Let me ask you this, and I might sound like a blonde or something if I ask you this, but can you be arrested in another state if
Yes,
your
you
warrant
can.
is in? So why they wait till he come to Florida then? I thought since they
I
waited.
thought the incident happened in Florida. I thought it was down in Miami. Where they were taking
That's
pictures.
what I'm saying.
Right.
But I'm saying over
so
this
Florida had
last
the warrant.
year. Yeah, but when he was in Atlanta and the other places, they couldn't arrest him?
No. Because then you got to pay extradition and all that other stuff and get him
Okay,
shipped
that's
and stuff.
what
You
I'm
don't want to do all
asking.
that.
So
when
why-
soon as he crossed into Florida, they
That's
was
what I'm
waiting on this punk.
So why did his management, I need to know, why did his management book something in Florida if we're going to get arrested in
He
Florida?
forgot about that. He thought that was going to go away.
So, yeah, they was waiting on for Chris
And he
Breezy.
hasn't proven to be the most savvy when it comes to these types of situations.
I love some Chris Brown. And, if I was a celebrity, yeah, I want pictures.
Would you slap people taking pictures of you?
No, because I like them. Take pictures. And then,
You be giving them the selfie pose. You be giving them duck lips.
Right. Even Kim Kardashian, even the Kardashians, though, they even call paparazzi to let them know where they're going. And this is another thing. Some paparazzi sit outside Kim and Chris's house just waiting for them to drive off to go anywhere. They be outside waiting. I wouldn't mind that. I want to be a celebrity.
I think
I wouldn't mind it.
I think the
Y'all
president.
that crazy about
the president
me?
of celebrity would be. I would have to be dressed every time I left my house, and sometimes I'm not. Okay.
Sometimes
if you
I'm
caught
not
me,
either.
if you caught me in the supermarket, sometimes you be like,
just
Claire.
for my little stardom right now, people be seeing me out, and if I'm not looking on point, they be like,
You saw me last night. I sent you a text message last night because I needed some outfit advice because my wife was on a
His wife
plane.
was on a plane.
And I needed something. I'm about to buy some clothes. Because I'm like, we're on Facebook Live almost every day.
I'm telling you.
I got to wear some new clothes. I can't be wearing the same thing. I'll be forgetting what show it was. Was that in June or was that in July?
Right.
Why am I wearing the same shirt?
I haven't
Hey,
worn
man,
this
you got to get your
since
team to give you a
last
calendar, man.
year.
So you can line up your clothes.
I mean,
Y'all know how Dwayne Wade used to do that thing, man. Dwayne Wade used to have his clothes lined out.
every
I'm
morning.
going to take some Polaroids of my outfits.
Every Monday through Friday, I am technically I haven't worn this shirt on the show since my birthday 2 years ago. But no, a year. Yeah, not last. Was it last year? Anyway, it's last year, so don't matter.
I cannot get.
But anyway. Okay, so Chris Breezy, look, man, love you to death. I'm praying for you.
Bye, Chris Brown. Go sit down.
You know what? Because
Okay.
he just so mean.
You got
All right,
support.
guys.
You got support. I got hate.
I
Go sit down,
love you, Chris Brown. And your manager, we need to have a talk with him. All right, guys. Chance the Rapper.
Okay, quick shout out. Jay, before I forget, JB, I see you in the chat room.
JB in the chat room.
Happy anniversary to you and your lovely wife. 22 years. They ain't celebrated
JB
on
is
Saturday.
our number
And I
one
told
fan.
him when he posted it online, I was going to give him a shout out on the show on Monday. I'm a man of my word.
Congratulations.
JB. Rafer remembers you.
One time, JB, I live down in Gibbs Hall, bro. Gibbs Hall.
Rafer remembers you. So shout out to JB and his wife and his kids.
Congratulations.
We wish you another 22 years.
Another 22 after that. Just live forever.
All right.
Very forever.
So what we talking
All
about?
right,
Chance the
guys.
Rapper.
Chance the Rapper, we already knew he was off the market, but he's completely off the market now because he proposed to his longtime girlfriend. And I'm so sick of people, though, talking about that she's ugly. Like, and have you seen her?
She's ethnically ambiguous.
She's-
That's what I thought.
but
That's
as long
the
as
word
he
of the day.
loves
That's the
her-
big word of the day, ambiguous.
As long as he loves her, as long as he loves her and they happy and they've been rocking for years, like, why y'all have to hate on her?
I wasn't mad at her. I was mad at the fact that they took the pictures and looked like it was a project party.
But you know what?
That's what I was mad at.
That showed me how humble. Hold on. That showed me how humble he was because they had them red, the ghetto cups, the red cups where you throw away, you don't recycle.
Aren't you Chance the Rapper?
So they weren't out at some nice restaurant. They was in a backyard. It looked like
It's
it
called
was.
being real. It's called being real.
It
Keeping it real.
No, that's when keeping it real goes wrong.
It did look like
You went
it was-
Cabrini Green with some solo cups proposing?
It did look like they was in the hood. And
What
they
kind of
had
ring you
solo.
have? A ring pop?
I mean,
What kind of flavor you have? Cherry?
cherry.
Strawberry?
But y'all, like, it was so cute though. But it was kind of like ghetto fab. But you know,
Real
what?
ghetto
That
family. He even comb his
shows
hair and that. You proposing though? Well, you ain't got a fresh fade when you.
Cause baby, I want you to know who you marrying. You're not marrying the one with the fresh wave. You married with my hair not
You
coming.
married Pookie and them.
But does that not show us how humble he is? Like, he's so humble. I mean, he's humble. He's humble.
You're right.
He
You're right. You know what,
proposed with
though?
a red solo cup.
That's why I love you, Shawty, because you are so positive.
He's
That's
humble.
humility.
He's humble.
I like this new characterization of what humble is.
Not everybody.
Project parties and everything.
Not everybody can propose with a red solo cup. You know what I'm saying? And hey,
It's a
congratulations.
red- wow.
And I think I'm tired of people talking about she ugly. I think she's okay.
That's his.
She okay.
The key words in that phrase was long-term girlfriend. She held him down when he was still in the project.
That's right.
She held him down.
That's right.
So he had to reward that, man. That's loyalty right there. I knew you before you had a down.
Hey, one time for holding it down.
Right there. One time for all the
Hold
bottom
it
bees
down.
out there holding their man.
Where they gotta be bottom bees?
That's what they call, right?
No.
You know what pimp call?
No.
That's
Are
not
you
bottom.
a pimp? Are you a pimp today?
Something like a pimp.
Oh, we done had Colin Powell around you too long, pinky now.
I told you
All
I'm
right.
famous adjacent.
Oh, Lord. All right, guys. Okay, Floyd Mayweather, he spent $18 million, not on a house, not on a condo, not on, y'all, he spent it on a watch. $18 million on a watch. Nobody believed me when I said it yesterday until y'all Google, but you know I come with the correct facts. He spent $18 million on a watch. My question is Floyd going to be one of those people that, like, I kind of feel like his money is always going to be there, but is he going to be like MC Hammer where he left with like $2 to his name? Like
There's
the
a
way
phrase
he
that I
spins
want to say right now, but we're on the air.
radio. Okay. So,
But first of all, this is the take I'm going to stay on it.
is he
I
going
don't
to
know
be broke
if
or
there's
not?
$18 million worth of material to put in a watch.
It's almost 300
Hey man,
carats.
he went to Wakanda, got that vibranium.
There it is.
He got that
Raymond,
vibranium watch.
thank you for saying that. He got a vibranium watch. That's the only thing that's going to be $18 million.
It has, let me finish, it has over 280 carats. Almost 300 carats. So he spent $18 million on a watch. Do you know what I could do with $18 million?
I can sit down and think a lot.
Hey,
All
did
right,
you
guys.
get $18 million when you got your funding?
No.
Tell me, let's get that watch.
Let me tell you our last little little bit of news because I want to jump over and talk about more important things about what this man is here to talk about. But I'm gonna just tell y'all. Remember I told you that these celebs, they be stressing me. Like my mimosa used to be like mostly yellow. Yeah. Now it be clearer and clearer. Mm-hmm, and I be having all champagne.
That's life.
No. I be up in here giving an entertainment report with all champagne and a spoonful of orange juice. That's what I really be doing because of this. You know, y'all be stressing me out. Keisha Cole goes on Instagram and says she's pregnant with her second child.
She trolled y'all.
I got everybody congratulating her. Everybody, congratulations everywhere. Mm-hmm. Then she came back and was like, I'm not really pregnant. And y'all need to stop basically body shaming people because she feels like as a celebrity, you know, as soon as they gain a little bit of weight, all of a sudden she's pregnant. You know, that's what happened with Halle Berry last year. We all was determined. We thought she was pregnant. But anyway, so Keisha Cole wants people to stop body shaming and she'll stop lying. So she's not expecting her second child, and that's a wrap on that. Let's get over to the more important stuff. What you doing here?
Oh, Lord.
That's how we open up with guests. Why are you here?
What you doing
Why
here?
are you here?
Hey, man, I'm here to help families. Straight up.
You here to help families?
I'm here to help families.
Families need help. Me and Alice, we like brother and sister. We need help. You want some help for us?
Hey, you know what? We do our best.
We need help. Go ahead.
So what most people don't know is that 1 in 5 children has an exceptionality. Some people say a learning difference, a learning challenge. Actually, the federal government even uses the word disability.
Okay.
But that's 1 in 5 kids.
1 in 5? Wow.
So what that means is,
that's a lot.
If that's not somebody in your direct family, it's definitely somebody you know. And the thing is that there can come a stigma with it that folks think that there's something wrong. And it's not anything wrong. It is truly just a difference, you know, kind of with the child. And if we can be smart enough to figure out what's different about this child, we can help them to really achieve their potential.
Are you talking about too, like autism and stuff?
That's exactly one of them.
So
the federal government actually has 13 different categories of disabilities. Autism is one of them.
Trump's son, and I'm not joking at all when I say this, but his son with his current wife,
with
the youngest
the 10-year-old.
They like people say that he has autism, you know, and some people have joked, and that's not funny at all, you know. But go ahead.
I don't talk about people's kids, even 45 kids.
I don't talk about nobody's kids.
I mean, when she stepped in a hole and twisted his ankle.
But you know, so yeah, you mentioned that you know there's other.
What are some of the other ones?
Dyslexia, ADHD, dysgraphia, dyscalculia, sensory processing disorder, auditory.
We got a quiz.
Disorder.
We just gave him a quiz. What are the 13? What are the 13?
And the thing is, well, here's what's crazy about it is I gave you like the real names.
Right.
When parents go through schools, they won't use those real names.
So what is like 15 of them? You said.
So there's 13.
13.
There's 13,
okay.
but they'll use names
OCD
like.
one?
OCD is so they'll
not for children. That's an adult.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm sure there are children diagnosed with
OCD.
But it falls under anxiety disorder.
Oh,
that's right. That's another one. Exactly right. Exactly right.
And so these poor children are, you know, like growing up dealing with this, and it's not properly diagnosed, or.
Well, oftentimes what happened, it may not be properly diagnosed. And oftentimes their parents are having problems getting support through the school. And that's how actually this came about for me and my family.
Wow.
So I have a niece who's now or just finished the 6th grade. But back when she was in 2nd grade, my sister kept saying, listen, Amber is brighter than her grades are showing. Like I can see in how she talks and what she says. And I can see in her eyes.
Right.
And the school kept saying, don't worry about it. She's on grade level. And well, in my family, if grade level is the best you can do, great.
What is grade level? I never heard that.
Well, so grade level is...
You're average.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
That means you're average. You're a C student.
I never
and they're like, she's smarter than her grades.
Oh, okay.
She's on
the school is like, is she passing? Is she on level? And she's good.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
That's how school systems treat you.
However, in my family, it's like, well, no, if you can do better, we're going to help you.
You're from a family of high achievers.
We going to do better.
Right.
And so my sister, who was a very active parent, she used to organize the science night at the school, was trying to work with the school, but they weren't giving any help.
Right.
Wow.
Well, it just so happens that my wife is a school psychologist in the same school district.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. Now, for those who don't know, a school psychologist is the person that tests children who may have an exceptionality. Oh. You don't know what it may be, but you say, not sure what it is, and they'll give your child a battery of assessments or evaluations.
What are some signs?
Well, sometimes you might see a child maybe
Because there may be
slower.
some children going through this and parents don't know. Like, well, what are some signs?
Great question. So if you see your child maybe speaking slower or reading slower or it seems like their grades are not their grades are way down, but you can see their intelligence when you talk to them, right? That's where you see that disconnect. That's where my sister saw the disconnect, right?
Gotcha.
You see grades and you're going through the child's homework or classwork and quiz, and you're like, you know what, wait a second, I know that you know this material. But why isn't it coming through, right? When I talk to you.
Right.
And so usually what will happen is either the parent or the school will say, you know what, let's get them tested. But once again, in all fairness to schools, they're under-resourced and overwhelmed, right? However, that still don't take them off the hook because we got these babies that we got to get to where we got to get to, right? So my wife sat down with my sister over dinner and she said, well, listen, if you say this, then they actually have to test your daughter. Oh. And because they didn't even want to test her.
How old was her daughter?
She was second grade at the time. She was second grade.
Okay.
You gotta give them the language. You gotta give them the
Right.
He do, bro.
What you say?
And let me tell you, it was like she got let behind the velvet rope into the club.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you know, she got tested. We found out she had ADHD, and we were like, hey, great. Now we can change some things in her life to help her achieve. Exactly. She is doing awesome now.
Right.
Wow.
But here was the crazy thing. The school psych at the school said, I could tell she had been coached. How about that, right? Like the school can tell when a parent has been coached by somebody in the system, by an advocate, by an attorney. And so now from my perspective,
how about the bigger issue is look at what we're saying, not the fact that they've been coached. Look at helping the child. Like,
look at, hey, we were right.
I mean, you've been coached. That's not the problem here. The problem is that this child needs help. You've been coached.
Hey, a keyword, and Rayford, help me if I'm saying the right word, is incongruent. If your child's intellect is incongruent with their performance, then you need to kind of see something. And it could be in reverse.
Right.
It could be the opposite way. Somehow their performance might be, okay, there's something a little off. But if there's an incongruence with what you see and what you know, then you might want to start looking at getting some help. But I think the biggest thing, and you can address this as well.
Point. I'm like,
parents are afraid because when their child gets tested, they get special ed. They get that label of special ed, and nobody wants to ride the short bus. Nobody wants to be on the short bus and in class with the 6 kids with the bandanas around their neck. So nobody wants their child to be that, and so they run away from service.
And so let me hit on that. Let me hit on that.
Do that too.
So because we in this country have elevated certain things and depressed certain things, right? People now have a stigma or are scared of it. And you're exactly right, Shawnisa, is that these are the services that can help your child go higher than actually the typically developing child.
People are afraid of that label. They're afraid of the label, and that's what's so sad. Exactly. And I find it in our community, it seems like it's worse.
It's true.
I mean, I met a lady at my church. She was just saying she was really depressed and going through some things, was going to go see a therapist, but she wouldn't because she didn't want a paper trail and she didn't want a diagnosis. And that's sad because I told her, I said, you're putting other people before you. You're willing to let yourself get to the point of where you want to commit suicide because you don't want to be labeled. Like, put yourself before them, get the help and say, forget them. Like,
and I think it's a fear of the downside and not really pushing for the upside. All right. So here's the thing, right? If you get that help, there's a higher heights that you can get to and that your child will get to that you can't even dream right now. And so the thing that got us as we went through customer discovery.
Like a preacher. I'm
excited about it.
I'm about to get excited about
I get excited about
it.
Because here's the thing. We've talked to over 500 parents one-to-one.
Be passionate.
And the parents that had the most consistent success in this process, they hired an attorney or a special education advocate. Okay? These are specialized people who do great work, but they're expensive. And so here's the problem, right? You got millions of parents, 15 million parents, right, who in this country who are trying to figure this out, but then you've got a certain select few who've got resources who can help them navigate the process. So we said, well, the first idea was, how can we create a marketplace to connect the parents to these people? That was the first thing, kind of like Angie's List does, for the handyman. Well, we were going to do that. Well, it turns out, if we'd have done that, they would only cover 5% of the market.
Wow.
And so it's like, there's not enough people.
At the same time, that was nice.
Yeah, right? Jinx on you and jinx on you.
That's good.
There's not enough people out there. And so then we said, well, how can we do this with the technology, not just the people? And a technologist that we was working with, he said, you know what, y'all? It's kind of like TurboTax. Before there was TurboTax, you either hired a CPA or you went to Walmart and got the book and you did it yourself, right?
Yep.
Well, TurboTax came along, and now we all have software that can actually help you do your taxes in a personal way.
Right.
We said, can we create the same thing?
In a personal way.
That's it, right? Because you get your own personal tax filing. We said, can you do the same thing for special ed? And so that is what Exception Ally does. Exception Ally navigates a parent through the special education process.
And this is your company.
This is my company, Exception Ally. And it's spelled just like exceptionally. And by the way, the website is growexceptionally.com.
And we will be posting that today, too.
Oh, yeah. We're running all this stuff.
And as an aside, there's a promotion for all of you all's listeners. You get a 50% discount. Morning Takeover 50. Morning Takeover 50.
Yes.
Use that promotion code, you get a 50% discount.
We helping families on this show. Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now. You need to tell a friend.
So the morning
show 50.
Morning.
Just Morning Takeover 50.
Morning
Takeover 50.
That's it.
And I was going to ask, because anytime, we have guests, I was going to ask you what inspired you to, but I already see it.
You see the passion, right?
I don't even need to ask
That's the thing, like,
That's
so
always
I told you to
my
be a good
question.
guest. I said it's
That's
gonna be a good
always
guest.
my question, but I don't even need to ask you, where does your passion come in? What inspired? Like I see it all. Like I see it.
When you see your professional training come together with the need that you feel in your heart and your family, you just got to go do that. So, my background is in digital media and business development and that kind of thing. And so I made a lot of money for a lot of corporations, kind of last couple decades.
You want to make some money for us?
Hey, let's talk. Hey, now, don't get me wrong. I'm a capitalist.
We
Let's be
talking.
clear.
Wait a minute.
I don't need an $18 million
We were
watch.
talking before.
I don't need that.
I'll take it though.
I want to enable that for you, right? So we all about doing
This
good and
on
doing
phones.
well at the same time.
Okay.
That's what Exception Ally is about. It's about doing good and doing well at the same time.
Yep.
Right? If we can provide expertise to all these parents at a fraction of the cost that they can get otherwise, man, please. Do you know I made a lot of money selling products that aren't really beneficial? Kind of thing.
And now you have something that's very beneficial.
Now I got something that can help people and help their kids reach another level.
I bet you sleep better at night now, don't you?
Dude, I sleep good.
You sleep
Okay.
good.
And that's really not being funny. That's
not
just
you being really,
when you're doing things that you're passionate about,
When
that
you
you love,
selling stuff
and you
that
still
you-
help people.
Now I'll tell you the thing
sleep better
that
now.
now I wake up early too,
Right.
because my company is not yet Google. So I sleep good, then I wake up
the hustle.
like I got to get on it.
Got the hustle.
And that's how I am. I
So
wake
talk
up and go
about
straight to the
as we
news.
come through the intro, talk about how you got your funding.
Yeah. So we're now
you got
funded by Y Combinator, New Schools Venture Fund, and actually here in Atlanta by a accelerator called Flashpoint at Georgia Tech.
Okay.
Right now, my company is actually out in Silicon Valley in a organization called Y Combinator. It was the first startup tech accelerator. It's the home of Airbnb, Dropbox, Instacart, and a whole bunch of other companies.
Right.
And they put out a request for companies to apply that were doing education technology. And they said, we want companies that are doing machine learning and artificial intelligence, that are serving underserved markets, that have a unique business model, which means not charging schools.
Right.
And a friend of my business partner, Dana, forwarded her the blog post, and we said, man, that's us.
That's us.
And so we
That's
literally just took a couple of hours, filled out the application. We knew it was a thing to get, but we didn't realize how prominent it was.
Gotcha.
Man, we sent it in. They emailed us back, and literally they had 600 interviews. In the first 15 minutes, over 300 were booked.
Wow.
We had to book our interview, and so literally by the next day at that email came in at 10:15 that night. By noon the next day, all the interview slots were taken.
Wow.
And that's when we said, okay, this is serious. Next thing you know, so then they fly you out for a 10-minute interview.
Wow.
And you find out.
Elevator pitch.
That's it. You got 10 minutes. So they flew out, me and my business partner. We sat down, we did prep, and a lot of the Y Combinator alums prepped us. And you got 10 minutes to spit. And I mean, I'm sitting in my chair leaning forward, and we going, and we knew we had it. We walked out the door, we high-fived, we got this.
And you know what? That's amazing. I want us to do that with Tyler Perry or with Lee Daniels or Will Packer and do our 10 minutes and be like, bam, we got this. We got a TV
do it high fives.
show.
I'm going to put a down payment. I'm going to put something on the $18 million watch. I can't
I want
get
to be
it.
like you.
I'm gonna put something
I
on
want
it.
to feel like you because you, yes.
I'm like, y'all do layaway.
Hustle.
On the $18 million watch, y'all do layaway?
You do not need Michelle.
Y'all do layaway?
Michelle is not gonna
What you gotta put down on the $18 million?
I got $2.50.
Michelle is not gonna
I'll
let
put
you
on
get
every other
$18
week.
million
When I get paid every
watch.
other week, I'm gonna put something on my $18 million watch.
Michelle is
Y'all
not
can bury me
gonna
with
let
that.
you get an $18 million watch. I know his wife somewhat. She is not gonna let him get.
I know her well. You are exactly right.
But I know she's not gonna. It's
She ain't
not
going
gonna
for the $18
happen.
million watch.
So I
18,000?
No, Michelle is not gonna go down for that.
If we get on TV, I might be.
1,800, and Michelle is gonna see us the $1,800 watch. That's what Michelle is gonna. Matter of fact, $180 watch. Let's
Yes,
go over
it is. $180 watch for the 18th
$180
anniversary.
I'm gonna get that swatch. I'm gonna get that swatch.
Oh Lord.
That new swatch.
So how can people get in touch with you?
Yes.
How can
Yes.
people get in touch? We got a couple minutes left. How can people get in touch? How can they follow you?
Yes.
How can they just be connected to you if they also just,
For
have
people
questions?
that are listening, yes.
Because, we have a lot of
Parents.
listeners. We're going to continue to go Facebook Live after we go off the air. So we'll be able to do some questions and everything. But tell our online listeners, on-air listeners, how they can find you.
The best way to find us is growexceptionally.com.
Growexceptionally.com.
We also have a Facebook page.
Spell it out because some people.
GROWEXECPTIONALLY.com.
Okay.
That's always a test for me every time I do that.
Well,
Get a
because
dictionary.
some people.
It's just a word spell. We don't do no extras. Nothing. No.
Well,
it's spelled the way
some
it's
people.
sound.
So I
Grow
just
exceptional.
okay. And how can they contact you?
And so they can contact me at Rayford.Davis, RAYFORD.Davis, DAVIS, at growexceptionally.com.
We're going to post this in the Morning's Takeover, his information, and Love 860, our radio station. We're going to do it in the Morning Takeover. We're going to do it on Facebook.
Joyride, our celebrity
everything.
life coach, she was in the chat room. She said she's going to post on her page.
Wonderful. And we have a free resource for parents, a free summer guide. So we just launched a free summer guide for parents of children with special needs.
Okay.
To be honest, our product costs $10 a month or $100 a year.
Okay.
So very economical, but just a free resource for them. We've got 3 summer steps for back to school prep. It's a guide that you can find on our website.
And let me say this, you may think something is wrong or not wrong, because I'm going to just say this real quick. Like my younger cousin, when he was younger, he was always quiet. Like we always thought he was kind of weird. He was always quiet. But then all of a sudden, years later, he blossomed. He went to college and got his aviation and engineering degree. He was offered a pilot job with American Airlines before he even graduated. And now, in the last 2 weeks, he's been upgraded to captain, and he's only 24.
That's what's
so,
up.
But when he was younger, but in the
Black
end,
captains
he's
out there
very
doing their
smart.
thing.
It's
Like,
all about
very
finding
smart.
the kids and
So
help
he-
them reach their full potential.
Yeah, so I mean, he wasn't, nothing was going on, but it's important to pay attention because we was paying attention to him. But
And
Gavin,
they need
I
an
love
exceptional
you.
ally.
And
He needs an
yes,
exceptional ally.
yes.
That's right. That's
Get
right.
the next pilot.
All right,
Like that,
guys,
that's a commercial
I
right there.
am Shanisa W. You can find me on Instagram at Shanisa W, Shanisa Whitehead on Facebook.
And I'm your boy, Silly Thoughts. That's SILLE Thoughts. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and Silly Thoughts. You can always follow the show. We are the Morning Takeover
On
Radio
YouTube,
Show.
subscribe.
Subscribe to YouTube, and we're on Facebook and Instagram with the Morning Takeover Radio Show. So give us a shout out. Like the show. Don't be just watching the
What
show.
was
Like
your
it.
mimosa
No,
moment?
we need some likes.
All right, you go ahead and
We had a mimosa
your social
moment.
media following.
Oh, yeah. So hit us up. You get us up at Exception Ally on Facebook. Exception-Ally. Say it again.
Are you on Instagram?
Barely.
Yeah.
right.
Barely.
That's where to find us on LinkedIn at Exception Ally and on Facebook Exception Ally.
All right, we got you guys. And that's a wrap. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
Big peace.
I was going to say, you have to do a peace thing?
You know what, though?
All right, guys, we are still Facebook
Okay,
Live.
y'all have fun. Y'all have fun.
We all
I'm over here
do.
sweating, drinking some more. I'm like, hey, man.
But you're sweating because it's a little hot
No,
in
it's
here,
good.
Jack.
It's
Let's
good.
move the mics. Oh, yeah, that's what I told you. We have fun. We'll be here all serious. Life
This
is
is
too
great.
short. You ain't know it was going to be like that. I didn't know it was so
Okay, let me just tell y'all.
He
My
knows
sister just said, Mama, you can go watch Ray live on video. Go to my Facebook page. So my sister put it out on Facebook. My sister's head of marketing for Spelman.
We
Oh,
have
wow.
fun.
Yeah, my sister's head of marketing for Spelman. So
Let's get her in here.
Get her in here. Let's
We
see this.
have fun on this show because you know what? Like, if we were, just going to be in here being boring and nobody's going to listen,
No.
but we have fun. Every day I used to be like, Ellis, man, these celebs drive me crazy. I need a martini every morning. And then we laughed about it. Then one day I called him. I was like, Ellis, let's start doing mimosas over here. and then
That'll allow me to check the box and nobody question me.
Right? And then Ellis came up with the slogan, life is full of moments, mimosas makes them better. So, so we just, we have fun. Celebs come in and interview with us and different people. And afterwards, they're always like, man, that was good. Like, because we don't go in here and start bringing up shade.
Right.
We don't do the gotcha stuff.
We don't be doing all that. I mean, now, when we in here together, and there's no celebs here, and we talking about the celebs, like, we may throw a little shade.
We can.
This is Petty Pendergrass.
Petty.
Petty Pendergrass.
This is Petty. He is petty. And I'm
going to get a cape, man. I promise I'm going to get a cape, man.
I'm going to get you a shirt.
So I can get super petty.
I'm going to get a shirt.
Super petty.
So it's like, here I come in. I'm the nice one, I'm like, and then he becoming, like, for instance, when Stacey Dash was running for Congress, I was like, hey, guys, Stacey Dash is running for Congress. And then all of a sudden, Alice goes on the camera. Kill yourself, Stacey Dash.
I wouldn't go that far, but I definitely started leaving, giving the sign out.
Look on my face. Look on my face. I'm like, okay. Like, I'm trying to figure out what time to go to.
It was early in the show. She was like, oh, this dude is a little wrong.
Right.
You need extra.
But you know what? I liked him from the first time he was on the show. And. Yeah, so we just have fun.
People
so
like
you didn't know it was gonna be fun, huh?
Well, no. I knew it was gonna be fun. Don't get me wrong. Like, I know him. You
didn't know it was gonna be this level.
Yeah. I just said, I told him I didn't know what to expect.
Thought it was gonna be
but I just knew him.
Interview.
So when I said it's him, I was like, let's just get in it.
Yeah.
You thought it was gonna be a serious interview.
I'm down
but
for whatever.
You know what? I was so happy about you coming on the show because this is the thing. We do entertainment.
She hit me up. She was like, when I sent her your information, and I sent her stuff, and she's like, what's he doing? I said, well, I told her what he was doing. She's like, oh, that's great. Because a lot of times when people come on, they had to pay a production charge.
And he was like, we're waiving that.
And she's like, we're waiving that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And she brought up because I was going to do it, but I was going to cover it if we needed to.
Thank y'all.
But I hit him back. I was like, hey,
we need to have him on the show.
I said, we need to have him up. And it's a production.
And so, Anissa, you hit something during the interview is that this affects us more than us. Black folk. Let me I'm talking about us. Black folk, right?
Yeah, and when I saw what you, Ellis sent me the information because he's like, I got to guess for my name. I'm like, who is he? You need some information? I was like, you know what? This is so positive. Like, I got excited, and like I said, I was like, we was all like, if y'all down with waving, we waving.
And the funny thing was, I intentionally didn't tell her that we knew each other.
Oh, okay.
Because I wanted her to.
I just assumed y'all knew each other.
Yeah, but I knew
we go way back.
Okay.
But I didn't.
College way back.
Yeah.
You know what? This is some discrimination. Let me tell you.
Without question.
Everybody that comes on here is either an alpha or they're from FAMU.
Both. Boom.
You an alpha?
Baby, no, baby. Come on now. Come on now.
Are you kidding me, Alice?
Come on now. Oh, you don't know.
He's exceptional.
It's pure discrimination going on,
That's
y'all.
how we do.
Do you know how many alphas we've had come on?
Do you know how many alphas are walking the face of the earth making things better?
We're still trying to get Will Packer.
There's Nicholas. There's other.
They do exist. They do exist. Yes, they do exist.
So you purpose was y'all line brothers?
It wasn't about that. It wasn't. He plays me. But it wasn't about that.
Hold on. I'm just now realizing that this dude that's like a brother to me is the man because these dudes are coming in. Rob Hardy.
He plays Rob.
He plays Rob.
And Rob and him plays me.
I'm tripping. Like, Alice, was you the man in college? Because you just playing everybody.
I told you I'm famous adjacent.
Okay, so another alpha, guys. We got another alpha, another FAMU.
But no, seriously.
Kappas. Yeah, okay.
Please apply.
Kappas, Sigmas.
There's an application
not the
process.
Iotas, so we can read
We'll do iota.
Okay, but everybody else, I need for you guys to contact me. If you contact Ellis, he probably just gonna delete your email. If
No, we appreciate it. We appreciate it. Everybody got choices.
Because this is the thing. What this show looks like is that all the alphas are doing. They're the only ones doing good stuff, and maybe y'all are. But can I get a Kappa or something? A Sigma? Somebody just come in and be like, hey. This is another frat, and we do exist, and we doing good. You did not tell me he was a...
So I'm going to put somebody out there that y'all need to get on.
Okay.
It's a Q. Jason Carter.
Yes.
My boy. My boy. Jason Carter, the founder of
I went to the Ohio State.
One music. He put in One Music Fest.
Yes.
Founder. One of my tight boys. Me and him actually coach our sons together.
Oh,
and
wow.
flag football, baseball, basketball, and soccer.
I played basketball.
Jay Carter would be good to come in.
Yes.
Would y'all believe me if I told y'all I played basketball in junior high?
I would.
I did.
Could you shoot?
No, I was horrible. Like
you played the defense.
They said that I don't even know what I played. They said that my family paid like to get me in. But I'm gonna tell y'all, we all got MVP cards, and I had one. And on the back of my jersey, guess what my name was? Just take a guess.
Well,
my name is Shanisa, but just take a guess.
Check.
I was smooth S. That's the name I came
No, I would not have guessed that. I would not have guessed that.
You chose
That's what I came up with in 7th grade.
Oh, we're gonna use that one.
But she said she couldn't play. That's the thing. So she's smooth
S
and can't play.
Well, not smooth about nothing I did. And I would always get confused. You know how when you go up and everybody about to make the basket, everybody, on both sides. I can never figure out.
She don't know what it's called. You heard what she just said? She said, when you about to go up and everybody on both, it's called a free throw.
That may have been
I know a lot about sports. Actually,
she said, you got to shoot that on both sides.
But yeah, you're right.
I appreciate you.
I do know a lot about sports, but I know as far as back when I was in 7th grade, you're
just trying it out.
My family never showed up until decision day. Decision day, my whole family was there. So rumor was in junior high, at Korean junior high, I know y'all sent me. They said that my grandma, especially, she paid. They said it was just $50 though. They said she paid $50. $50 back then though.
That's a lot, but 7th grade.
So what? I was smooth ass and I was running around that court and stopping every time I broke a nail. I ain't care. But we sucked though because we lost every game and then we won one and then when we went to their school, they turned around and beat us. So really, it didn't even. I mean, our coach when we won that game, he ran all around acting.
You were there, and it was an experience.
It was fun.
About.
It was fun. I was a cheerleader too. I had to split it up. So. But what you're doing is so amazing, and I should have known Kappa FAMU. I should have known.
What'd you just say?
Alpha.
I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah. He like alpha.
But it's funny. It's like when we look at that period because we were all there in the early to mid '90s. And
I'm telling y'all age.
Hey, I'm proud of it. 43 years, I earned every day.
I'm 40.
But the thing is that during that period, there were so many brothers that are doing big things now. That it's incredible. Like in my Rolodex of
who else did you pledge? You
brothers.
just pledging all these people.
Mayors.
Man,
did you ever? I mean, probably the most famous and infamous mayor was Kwame Kilpatrick. You remember that story with the mayor?
But you didn't pledge him.
He pledged me.
Oh, he pledged you.
He pledged me. He pledged in spring '90 but we've had several other mayors. One of my line brothers was a mayor down in South Florida.
Well, I tried to get a sorority,
Mark just ended 10 years of being a mayor in Texas.
I tried to get a sorority, but then the line got dropped because of different reasons.
Understood. That happens sometimes.
It happens. And then I could have still done it if I would have stayed in school. But I was ready to go. I got all my stuff out.
But I mean,
but what you're doing is so amazing. I know, I got so excited.
Kelvin
I came into Ellis. I was like Ellis. I'm like this dude. We're waving everything. He was like, I was like, he was like, yeah.
Let me tell you why I appreciate that because one of the hard things, and I just be honest with it, is to get purchases is tough. Because you got to get parents to face something that sometimes they're not ready to face.
Ready.
Right? Yeah. And I'm like, listen, every parent that we've talked to that are in this process, they say, man, where were you 3 years ago? We've gotten funding from people who said, I wish you existed when my child was first diagnosed.
Right.
And so now we're trying to figure out how do we tell that mom who's first going through it, let me tell you what's going to happen the next 3-4 years.
Community is hard.
It is.
Especially with black moms. I'm not a mom, but I know
you need to come
many black moms.
The north side of the city. I'm sure all the moms up there in
Forsyth
County.
Without question, they talk.
They get it there and they talk.
This is race agnostic. Now here's the thing.
Can I ask you a question?
Please.
Why do you feel like it's the problem? It's the black community that don't want to let me say this. We don't want to get our children
so there's an education and there's a history piece of it, right? So let's not sleep. It ain't just in our DNA black people, kind of don't like to admit stuff. No. It's because things have been used against us for so long that now you're trying to look back and be like, whoa, watch out. There's some research that shows that we use more compliant language with our kids than white people do, and it actually keeps our kids from growing academically as fast. But why do we do that? Because folks used to get killed. Actually, it's a white guy, his name is Comer Yates, who runs the Atlanta Speech School, who educated me on this. His wife is Sally Yates, the Sally Yates.
Oh, wow.
And so he had to educate me on the history of how literally slaves used to go dig holes, teach their kids, and they would teach them in silence how to read. Right? Wow. And so now you fast forward, the same things that we teach our kids. I got to teach my kids. Right. Hey, man, you black. Watch the police and watch, right? You got to have these talks, right? So here's the thing. Well, what you don't know is that kind of programming affects the brain neurologically. And so it then affects how fast your kid learns. So it's not a situation where by DNA, kind of we get it. There are things that have happened in society, right, that have made us have to be twice as good to get half as far. Right. That's what if you're a parent, you got to work twice as hard to get half as far as a parent. Right, kind of as a child.
Rayford was part of the situation when we were talking about moving my son from public school to private school, and because I haven't worked in the school system, I knew the language, so I knew how to break the code. So even though I was beyond the application deadline that they had set, I knew how to write the email to get them to get him.
That's right.
And you contacted him, or you just?
Well, I talked about it. We talked about it. He was pushing another school. It's okay. But we talked about it because I knew he was familiar with the process, and then he put me on some people that are already at Woodward and say, "Oh no, so-and-so's over there, so-and-so's over there," and then we started getting more connected to the process. But it's all a process. But it's about the language because my son was at the point brilliant in focus classes, and they always said, but the teachers would say the same thing as the language that they use. He's so great, he's so smart, but he's a little, and I kept telling him, I'd say, he's an active learner. He cannot sit in here with 27 kids and you're teaching to the middle. He is beyond that. You need to challenge him.
And for little black boys, they'll sit there and they'll say, oh, he's bad. Actually, he's the smartest one in the class. He's beyond everybody else. And if you don't keep him engaged at age 7, he's going to go do something with all of that intelligence he's got. Now, it may disrupt the class, it may disrupt you, but guess what? You got to raise your game.
Yeah.
And don't you think it's sad, though,
this kid's in 5th grade, he's reading on the 9th grade level, but you're trying to get him Sally and this and that. Like, he ain't going for that.
But don't you think it's sad how, they were more concerned about the parent being coached than the actual problem? He's been coached. So what?
Because you're going to make them work, and they don't want to.
And that's what I'm saying.
My sister used to say, make them do their damn job.
I said it. He didn't say it. He tried to work with y'all. I said it. Y'all don't want to work. I worked in the school system. I worked with APS for 3 years. They don't want to work that hard.
Me and Allison done a whole bunch of other stuff. I learned something new about. We're gonna try a lot. This is our calling, and we gonna sit. But it's crazy that when you said that they were they've been coached, that to me is just so.
It's painful.
Up with me. It's sad because what about the fact that the child really needs it? You too worried about parents who may not been coached. Screw that. Let's focus on these kids.
Let me tell you, we tried to sell to schools. That's the bigger
question. Why does a parent need to be coached?
We tried to sell our product to schools. We tried to say, listen, you all are under-resourced. We can actually give you something that can actually stretch your research. That's right. Schools told us, you can't tell parents this. You can't give parents this much information. One of them said, this product reeks of advocacy. As if that's a bad thing. I tried to sell to schools, right? I ain't gonna name his name, but one of the very senior Obama officials,
if I found out your name, I'm gonna say
who was in the administration, told me, he said, Rayford, I won't say this, come on the record, but you're exactly right. You got to take it directly to parents. Because the schools walk into these meetings trying to give the child the least amount of support. They want to give them some support so you can keep moving forward.
So what all does your service do?
Yeah, so basically it really is like TurboTax. You go online on our site, you tell us something about what you know about the process, and you tell us about your child. So then you'll say, my child has this exceptionality, and if you don't know, you'll just say reading challenge or math challenge. And then we just ask you questions about your experience. One of our biggest things was we don't want our parents to have to be academicians. Right? No.
That's a big word.
You ain't got 3 or 4 degrees.
That's Trump ambiguous.
You're a parent.
These big words today.
Tell me about your experience with your child as a parent.
And it's like a form.
It's just literal questions. It's one at a time.
Okay.
In the last 2 weeks, how often has my child?
Work?
So now once you answer those questions, we then spit you out and we say, listen, here are your child's strengths and challenges. Use this one talking to the school. Or we can say, here are some supports. that the school can do to help you. And what we do with those supports, we tell you which ones cost money and which ones don't. We're not telling you to ask for it or not, but we want you informed. So when you go into the school and you say, I want X, but X costs a lot of money to the school, or X is going to require the teacher to have extra training, or it's going to take the teacher a lot of time, I want you to be ready. Because I want you to, like, they're going to push back on this, and here's why.
Right.
Now, I'm not telling you where to ask. My job is to give you the information.
Give you the information.
Right? And then you can make a decision and say, listen, here's what I want and why. Now, where we go in the future is we actually want parents to give their feedback so that then we can generate recommendations based off of parents' input. So now, because what mamas told us, they said, listen, they said, you know what I want to know first? What another mama said who has a child like mine. I actually don't want to know from the school first or the doctor first.
Do you connect
experts.
them or no?
Not yet. Not yet.
But it would be something.
That would be a part. There are a ton of Facebook groups out there.
And that's the thing, like when we tell, I remember.
Do you have a Facebook group?
So we have a Facebook page, not a
Okay.
So yeah.
It would be awesome if you did a like I have a couple groups. We have one together.
Yeah.
It would be great if you had a group because then parents can get on there and
so they can. So on our page they can. They do.
Oh, okay, they do.
And they do. And they give us feedback.
Because I know in a lot of groups, like people get like when my close friend she was diagnosed with a cancer I never heard of. Like I got into a support group on Facebook.
Yes.
And people like
and they're
helpful. Like so I think that would be good for parents to kind of be like, okay, my child is doing this. What do you?
So there are literally hundreds of those Facebook groups online.
Oh, okay.
And some of those will let us in. Some of them won't. Because because they have a no solicitation policy, which I understand, right? I'm like, listen, but the question I asked them, I'm like, listen, I understand your no solicitation policy. How do you want to find out about us? Right? Tell me, coach me.
They don't do
and so I'm still, hey, that's a part of this development process. I got to learn that because oftentimes people don't know what they don't know. And that's where they need help.
Is your sister named Mary?
No, that's my mama.
She's
on now?
Your mama started following me.
Hey, mama.
Hey, mama.
And then, like,
Dion
jumped in.
So, like, your
It's fun.
vision to me, like I said, is so amazing. I was excited about it from the second I heard. And
I'm so glad.
It's like, and so you got your inspiration because of...
At my own kitchen table.
Yeah.
Now, just so y'all know, a little known fact, I'm going to brag about it. So my grandfather integrated the schools in Alabama.
Okay.
So the statute is Lee versus Macon County. My granddaddy's last name is me. My middle name is Lee.
Right.
And so his third son, my mom's brother that's right below her, Anthony T. Lee, his class actually integrated the schools in Alabama. So education has always been a part of our family. Like, you ain't got to be an educator, but you got to understand that is the key, right? Like, know that and know how to impact others. So it's always been in my fabric and DNA. I've done a lot of stuff in education, kind of on a board or volunteering, and this was one of those.
You worked at Howard for a while.
I did. I worked at Howard as a deputy chief operating officer, and that came from my passion after working in the education practice at McKinsey & Company. I got a chance to go work at Howard, and so it's always in my mind. I'm like, you know what? If you can teach folks some stuff, can't nobody take it from you.
This is amazing, and this is like, and the gratification you get out of it is helping these kids. Like I said, usually I'm always asking people, like, what motivates you, like, to do this, and what passion, because we get actors, we get a lot of different people, but like I said, you're the first one that I didn't have to ask, what the motivation, what inspires you, what, like, I saw it all over your face.
I'm telling you.
We had church in here for a minute.
Fast and play, but I ain't got no money.
I'm like, I put on something in trade today, because you was, but I mean, it's amazing, because I've never heard of business like yours.
So, and that's the problem, right? So I like to say, we're trying to sell a DVR.
Kids, I don't know, but
we're trying to sell a DVR before the VCR was invented.
Yeah.
Right.
Imagine what that is, right? Like, how do you tell people what this is? Right. How do you tell people what a DVR is? But the VCR had never been invented.
Let me give you all the language for this. It's called it's an industry disruptor. And so what's happening, so that's what happened when Uber came out, they disrupted the taxi cab industry. Yes. When Airbnb came out, they disrupted the hotel industry. Because now I don't have to do it the way it's always been done. Exactly. And so what we have here with Exceptional Ally is an industry disruptor. We're going to disrupt the special education industry in the way it's always run, where teachers tell you and dictate to families how their child is going to be taught and educated and supported in services. Now the families can take that power back using Exceptional Ally as a resource and take that power back to help their child. So we're going to disrupt the industry. I got 2 fucks to give, and I gave them away yesterday, so I'm at 0 fucks to give today. So I don't care about.
His mom watching.
And his mom is probably.
My mom be like,
"That's a high five for your mama."
Hey, that was her granddaughter. Her first granddaughter was the inspiration.
High five,
Let's be clear.
I got 0 bucks to give.
We're from Decatur. My mama done heard it before.
My mother. My mother's a school teacher, retired school teacher. My sister's a school teacher. My in-laws, both parents are teachers.
And let's be clear.
Know what it is.
Here's the thing. It ain't the teachers. Because what will happen in these meetings, the teachers actually want you to ask for more help.
Yeah.
But they feel constricted by their administration.
Yeah.
And so literally in these meetings, they'll be sitting there with their eyes real big like this, looking at Mama Bear saying, Mama, ask us for more. We got more to give.
Right.
But they can't say it.
Right.
So how did you go about, like, you got funding for this recently, right?
So we did.
How did you go about doing that? Like,
First, prayer.
Prayer.
Oh, God.
I prayed on who the co-host should be. I pray on everything. I pray on everything. So it's prayer.
So I'm gonna tell you. So we pray. Hey, come on now, watch out, boy. So we've gotten funding from a number of different places, a number of angels. Some of my Lion brothers. Thank y'all. Wrote checks.
Shout out.
Some angels. Actually, some angels from a group called RTP Capital in Raleigh.
Okay.
And literally, there are people that invest in technology businesses. And what you have to learn is don't chase rich people. Chase people who invest in what you do.
Yeah.
So I'll be honest, I wasted a lot of time over the last 2-3 years chasing people that just have money. Right?
Right.
But they don't know what I do and they don't invest in what I do and they'll be nice and listen to you.
I chase people right now with money and power. Like I be tagging Tyler Perry and all them because we want to take this to TV, right?
Yeah. Well, so that's the right person. That's right on the chase, right? So you want to chase somebody who does what you do.
Exactly.
He's one you should chase.
Right.
Rich person X who made money on selling glasses, right?
Yeah,
that may not be who you chase, if you will.
Exactly.
And so the way we got funding, quite frankly, is we ended up going to places that were looking for people like us. So New Schools Venture Fund.
Wow.
They were looking for people that were innovating in special education. Boom, we got money from them. Y Combinator was looking for people that was doing underserved communities, unique business models, artificial intelligence. Like, okay, boom, we go to them. They're like, oh yeah, that's what you're who we're looking for.
How did you feel when you got that funding? Like when you
we pulled. Let me tell you. So
did you pop a bottle?
Oh man, we pulled over the side of the road, bro.
Okay.
Here's how it goes. So when you don't get in, they email you. Okay. And we didn't get in the first time.
Right.
But they told us, they said, we love what you all are doing, but we didn't have a full-time CTO at the time.
Right.
And they said, go get a full-time CTO and apply again. We went and got a full-time CTO, and they reached out to us before we even applied. They said, we told y'all we liked you, but you just didn't have that third leg of the stool.
Right.
My CTO is huge.
Okay.
And I remember when we did the video conference for like, do you have him? I was like, look, the guy taking up all the screen, him. He's smart, he's sharp, he's done it before. So now we got him, and then we went through the official process. That was back in April of this year. We knew we rocked at that time. We got the same stuff. We made progress the last 6 months. We got the CTO. And we get the phone call. We're driving from Mountain View, which is South Bay area, up to San Francisco to catch our flight back to Atlanta. And I said, Verlin, and his name is Verlin. I said, Verlin, I want you to drive in case the phone rings. I'm going to get this phone, right? Dana is probably in the back. And the phone rings, and it says Mountain View. I'm like, that's it, y'all. We in. Because if you don't get in, you just get an email.
Right.
So, and I had that experience before. So the phone rang, I was like, this it. So I picked the phone, and I knew it was cool. Rayford Davis. Rayford Davis. He said, hey, Rayford, this is such and such. We start talking, and I look at my folks, and I'm like, yeah, we got it. Vernon pulled the car over. In front of a cop. That was the crazy thing. He pulled over. The cop was on the side. He pulled in front of the cop. We get out. We hugging and bouncing around this big car. We didn't care. We didn't care.
You need a lady from the church with the tambourine show.
And we were like, okay, here's the thing. We were like, this doesn't make the company, but it gives us runway.
Yeah.
Right.
So you've had different challenges, you know,
God,
of course, trying but you never gave up.
I've been doing this for 4 years.
Yeah,
4
but
years.
You never gave up. So 4 years, and you got your first funding. And
so we've been doing this for 4 years. I went full time 2 years ago. We got our first money about 3 months after we went full time.
That's what's.
But here's the thing, like each time that money run out. Right? Let me be clear. Right. It ain't a lot. And that money run out.
If people want to, because we have a wide...
I can speak to it.
We have a wide range of listeners, and then we post over and over. If there's anyone even interested in helping funding, can you give us your email again or some kind of way?
RAYFORD.DAVIS@growexceptionally.com. Let me tell you something. We're going to be opening the next round of funding at some point. Right? I'm about to say, I got to stop myself because there are SEC rules, and I can't say certain things, and if I do, then you break the rules. Okay. And so, at some point in our future, we will raise more money. Let me just say that, right?
Okay.
And when we find out, when that future date comes on...
so they can't contact you now?
Oh, they can contact me now. Okay. I just can't say certain stuff.
He can't say certain things, but I can say it.
We got some $1 million listeners.
Holla at him, and then we'll put it out again when the funding does open up. When he can share more, we'll definitely put it back out there for all the people that are watching and that listen to the show.
And their discount is morning takeover.
Yeah. So for people that want to buy the product, go to growexceptionally.com. The discount is morning takeover 50.
Yep.
Morning takeover 50. You will get a 50% discount
off.
Man.
So it's $100 for the year. That's $50. To help your child.
And it's a 14-day subscription free, so you get a trial for free anyway.
$50 to help your child. If you can't spend $50 to help your child, I don't know what you're doing.
If you can't spend $50 to help your child, you don't need to be watching us because we don't like you. Like,
look at your purse. If you spent more than $50 on that purse that you got their wallet in, you got a real problem. You can't spend $50 on your child. I'm calling you out. I don't care.
Right. Like, you really can't. I can't tell you when the last time I had a $50 purse or wallet. Everything's so expensive these days. So my point being, put $50 into your child's future. Well, that's not even asking for much. Yeah. Put $50 just to see. And you said some of the symptoms are.
So if you see things,
I want to know things that they can look for.
Yeah, here's what you look for, and this is where you tap into your motherhood instinct because it's mostly mamas.
Okay, so what if it's fathers? What if it's fathers?
Fathers too. Don't get me. Hey, I'm a very active father, and so I'm up with all the brothers, right?
Right.
But I will say in these meetings, mostly mamas. If your child,
quietness, like if
no, it's not quiet. Because here's the thing. There's a lot of brilliant kids, and people mistake them for not being brilliant because they're quiet. It's not quiet.
Right, because my cousin,
he was
quiet, but he's a pilot.
Think about
nothing wrong with him.
If your child is not delivering academically, meaning grades and tests, as smart as you know them to be. Yep. This is not where you think about the test. This is where you think about what you know, right? You know your child can do better academically, but you're not seeing it. That's when you need to raise a question and say, you know what? I need some help. Because I'm not a teacher. I'm not an educator, right? I haven't been trained in it. You shouldn't think the way that an educator does, right? You haven't had the years of schooling, but you are a parent. And you can feel when your child is delivering what their maximum is. And when you feel it's less than that, that's when you should go in.
And a red flag, the school system's red flag is not going to go up if they're performing on grade level.
Your flag is different than the school's
Your flag is different than the school. So the school's going to say, oh, he's performing or she is performing at grade level. There's no problem. So they're not going to identify your child. Even if they're making C's, they're going to see their way through to the next grade.
Exactly.
But you have to know it.
They go on, they fill out the information, and then what's next?
And then what happened is we spit them out information that they use, and quite frankly, they send to the school ahead of time. Because here's the thing, just like when I was in the corporate world, meetings went better when everybody was prepped. Right? So we didn't walk into any meeting without everybody on the agenda. There was pre-reading. You knew who was going to be in the meeting. These IEP meetings, folks just walk in cold. Yep. We're like, no. Send this to the school ahead of time.
Exactly.
And what it's going to show, first of all, that's exactly it, Shawnisa. They're going to be like, Mama Bear ain't no joke.
Exactly.
So guess what? The whole tone of the meeting is different. Mm-hmm. We've got people who've used our product, and they said, first of all, it was a grandmother who bought it for her daughter who called us back and told us this. She said, it gave my daughter confidence she never had in this meeting.
You know, it'd be great if you start putting testimonials.
They're on our site.
Oh, you have my
site? He got it.
Okay, I'm coming up with, I'm like.
I seen the video. I was like, I your mom was in the video.
No, that's the sister.
Testimonials. So they have been able to go into these schools informed and actually make some things happen.
Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing.
It's been fun. It's
been
amazing.
Fun to watch. I know how many times have I used the word amazing? I've used it more this time than any other, like I said, because you're a guest unlike other guests. I mean, we love all our guests, but you know, it's just like your purpose. We love it. You're so driven, and you know, it started with your own family, and I feel like these days
this came out of a tragedy. You know, the sad thing is this came out of a tragedy. This came out of a tragedy. One of our good friends and fraternity brothers passed away. Remember, I told you I had to go to Philly for the services. Well, I see him at the service. We're all getting together.
You guys were there together?
We're at the lobby of the hotel, and we're just talking to everybody, catching up because we hadn't seen each other in a while. We just we text and we talk. And so everybody's like, and the show had been, our show had just been growing. Mm-hmm. So I get there,
it's growing like crazy.
And brothers are like, "Oh, you big time radio host, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Okay, it ain't that serious."
I guess some girl put on my page.
But I'm talking to Rayford about his stuff, and he had just put out about the Y Combinator stuff.
Yes.
And I saw that on LinkedIn and saw it on Facebook and things like that. And I said, "We need to have you on the show." And he was like, "Yes, let's do it." And so we started texting and started coming around, and it's like, so out of that tragedy, we've got this great opportunity to show, and he's going to be on Sister Circle tomorrow.
No, on her podcast.
On her podcast.
Yeah. On Cool Sora.
With Cool Sora, with Rashawn Ali, who's on Sister Circle. It's going to be.
Tamika, our attorney for the show, her and Rashawn Ali are good friends.
Oh, wow.
They're in
good
sporty girls. Yeah. Tamika and Rashawn have been together for God.
So we're trying to get Rashawn to come on.
Girl, bring your butt on.
I'm calling folks out. Fam Ewins. Y'all need to start putting I'm calling all Fam Ewins that's watching right now. Put the pressure on Rashawn and Lisa. You need to go on that morning text.
Start tagging her.
Special.
Start tagging her. Look, I'm trying to get everybody
We're tagging Rashawn Ali, but she's doing big things. She's doing Essence this weekend.
Yeah, she's doing things. Like I said, I know her through Tamika. But brother, you are really you're inspiring. Like you're very. I'm like over here like I don't have kids, but if I did,
go help one. Go find one. That kid, I'm finna help you.
I mean, like come
go find a kid.
You going to an orphanage? Come here. You look like you got special needs. Come on. Come on. You with the cowboy boots on. Come on.
Look, read this book. Let me see how fast you read and how do you understand it. You don't understand it? Okay, we're going over here. Go talk to Rayford.
There it is.
But that's. I mean, I have really enjoyed this interview.
Good.
Like I really did because all of our interviews, I love them all. I love all our guests, but I love this one especially because it's about helping these kids, and it's more than we love doing our entertainment report, but we also got to give back. And I just we have fun, we talk stuff, but I mean, this is really a blessing for you to be on here, and also
thanks, Kelly. Appreciate that.
We don't know who you've touched because we have a lot of followers, and we're gonna put it everywhere.
Yeah,
we're gonna do a quick 60-second recap with you too for Instagram. Yeah, we always do that, and it just needs to be more people out there like
there's so much love in the chat room for you right now, Ray.
Right. Have you gone to my chat room or
your family? I'm in mine right now.
Okay, he goes.
Joyride, our celebrity life coach, she's putting it on her page.
Thank y'all.
Of course, JD.
Everybody.
Raymond Gaines, Rattler's always striking.
Come on now.
Your sister's Joyce, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We
so
got
Joyce
other
has been
people.
giving love.
Now you did.
Calvin's been giving love. Karen, my girl Karen. Yes, I did. I told you I blocked that dude.
Oh yeah. One crazy sucker.
Horace Clark jumped in, and Kelvin's been in the show the whole time. So everybody's just really loving the product. They're loving this energy. They're loving the energy that we had today.
Hey,
so
I love
y'all are great.
Appreciate y'all
watching. You just didn't know we was gonna be this much fun.
Hey, you know what? What I know
you thought it was gonna be fun, but she was like, as soon as we put our microphones, she was like, all right now.
Here's the thing, her shades ain't came off the whole time. She keeps it cool. That's I'm like, okay, that's how we get down.
Hollywood, I'm all about love.
I think that's been a big surprise for people because like you said, you know me. Yeah. And how we all get together.
We had Charles Oakley
but
on.
It's tough. Sure. It's. I think people are adjusting to seeing me being able to do it on air.
Yeah.
And be me on air. Because it's one thing when you're standing around with your
I'm about to say, they're no different. Bruh, I'm saying like, this the same, like, we at the trials.
I find myself having to be extra nicer because I got to balance this out. You know what I'm saying? Hey. And I'll be saying, like I said something about Ike Turner, it was something. And I was like, because it was somebody that was saying that.
I said Ike Turner hadn't done anything since he lost Tina Turner. That's real talk. He ain't made a good song since Tina left. Nick Cannon said
Ike Turner didn't get enough respect. He didn't get his.
Step it wrong.
And so I simply, was saying now, all of a sudden he came in like, Ike Turner, you ain't do nothing but find Tina Turner. You ain't do nothing.
You ain't do nothing.
Okay, yeah, so it's a good balance. But I'll be petty too. I'll be petty sometimes too. I do. I gotta be,
She'll get petty if you say something about Tupac.
Tupac, Kim Kardashian.
She like Kim Kardashian. There's some hot buttons.
If
I'm poker with
right.
That's what I say.
Then all of a sudden I'll be rapping like first off, once I start my rapping, like my Tupac songs, All Eyes on Me. Yeah,
I know her hot buttons, but
Yeah, but
I'm petty with everybody.
He petty with everybody. Petty.
It's okay to be real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Call
but
it like it is.
Make sure when
you
we
can be
doing
real
our
and
60
you can
second
be
recaps,
petty, and I'm real petty.
I be just making sure, like, none of the people I'm reaching out to, don't say nothing about them. Don't say nothing about Tyler Perry. Don't say nothing about Lee James. Don't say nothing about... I got lists. I'm like...
She be worried. She like, I'm putting the 60 second recap up.
I'm like, but
and
I
it's clown, dude.
Right, because I be tagging them. So I'm like, don't say nothing about Big Tigger. Don't say nothing about... Because I be tagging on them and like I be networking and
you gotta hustle.
So I be having to be like Ellis.
I'm not gonna be nice, and they gonna be like, "What? What you say about me?" I said, "What?"
He can be him, but anyway, this was such an honor to have you today. It really was.
Let me tell you something. I want to know about being petty. So my sister.
You petty pentagram.
No. I'm talking about tell you about the industry because y'all the media industry. So my sister worked in black entertainment industry for 15 years.
I drink on my shit.
So she drank it. I didn't drink it. She worked at Honey Magazine. She worked at BET Weekend. She worked at Essence. She worked. Jesus Christ, where she worked, Joyce? Vibe, and she had some run-ins with some very, very prominent. I won't put all the stuff out there. Prominent artists, Grammy Award winning, wanted to fight her in public in parties, right? But
she wanted a Beyonce biter, wasn't it?
No.
So that was tonight later. You know who it was.
But the thing is, all of her journalist colleagues were giving a dap. They were like, you know what? All you did was tell the truth. Yeah. That's what happens in the media industry, right? When you're a journalist, right? Yeah. In the same way you go to tell the truth, well, guess what? Somebody don't always like getting the truth told about them. So I just tell both of y'all, kind of as y'all think about being real, being petty, being real petty, you know what? You're going to cross some people sometime.
Oh, yeah. And that's part of the charm, I think, of our show. I think that's part of the charm of our show, though, too. That he going to say some crazy stuff, and then I'm going to be nice, but then I'm going to say some crazy stuff. And
that's right.
Charlamagne the God is now moving to television. He's doing his own stuff. Have you seen he's got something like HBO or something like that? Charlamagne is going, and that's been his thing. And I'm not creating a stick.
Yeah.
And you know that, and people that know me know that I don't create a stick. This is not fake. This is me when the cameras go off. Yeah. And when the cameras are on, this is me, and I'm gonna be me. And when we talked about when we had Andrew Snorton on about being authentic, and I think that's what people like about the show is that we got to be authentic, and I'm gonna be authentically me. And if your feelings get hurt, well, we'll have a drink about it. We'll talk about it.
We either just ain't never
and move on. Talk about have a drink about it, move on.
Move on. But it's really that's what it is.
And what were you gonna say in closing? You were about to say something.
That y'all are awesome. That's it. The energy is important. Like, energy is everything. Yeah. People are attracted to energy. Yeah. So, kind of at y'all's, kind of early states, keep the energy coming, right? Because the thing is, you don't know what that's going to attract. Right. And the thing is, you try, and don't get me wrong, you should target what you want to attract. Right. And what's going to happen is, you're looking for this, and something right here is going to because you attracted it with the energy that you have. Right. And you ain't even know it.
Well, I appreciate that.
We have a lot of...
We're working hard.
Names coming on. We're working.
We need a champagne sponsor.
Oh yeah, we need a champagne sponsor.
Tired buying champagne every week.
We buy champagne every week for these mimosas, but you said
we're not putting no names out.
Don't put on blast.
Okay. Yeah. So
we need a champagne sponsor.
Right. We don't need an orange juice sponsor. I'm okay with it.
We okay with whoever on sale.
Right.
Unless you got some orange juice, you want to say. I'm saying like a salesman.
It just brings more fun to the conversation. We do entertainment news over mimosa.
Amen.
It's morning time. It's too early to have a martini.
Yeah.
So
sometimes we want to have a shot of tequila.
Some of this
you got children in your house. You need
preach.
Some of this news I come in with, like I said, that's how we started with the mimosas. Because I'm like, but even one time we did, and I was like, y'all, my glass is so clear. And I was like, it's just almost all champagne. He was like, yeah, vodka. I was like, no. I'm not mixing
She had her orange juice with a medicine dropper.
Right. My orange juice, it was a tablespoon. So anyway, guys, all right, well, we are going to close, and then we're going to come back with a 60-second recap. We're going to do one for the little celeb news of it, and then we're going to do one with our new friend. And, well, they old friends. He's my new friend. But
and check us out tomorrow, because we got to talk about this Tank and Tamar situation. I don't know if y'all been watching this foolishness.
We got so much
Tank Mike and Tamar got some R&B going on, so we're gonna talk about that tomorrow.
Song, I love it. That song brought him back. It's real. It's
I was cool with Tank. I love his music, but when he talking about he like to get his ass eaten, I don't even know that.
He said that?
Look it up. I don't even know that, player.
Oh,
keep that between you and your love.
Should we had to even say that on Facebook?
We're on Facebook Live. It's okay.
I didn't know he said that. I didn't know he said that.
Look that up.
This is Alice.
Yeah,
Zuckerberg about to come and be like,
I ain't been blocked yet, so I ain't been shut down yet. So I guess I'm not politically active enough.
Oh, I gotta Google this because I did not know. All right, guys, see you tomorrow.
Peace. Thanks for watching. Oh, whatever.
okay, that was hilarious. The way to end. Hey, you take that one, get his ass eaten.